Bruno wasn't the kind of dog people easily trusted. He was big, heavy-footed, wide-chested, eyes alert. His short coat showed signs of old scars. The kind no one wanted to ask about. He came from a shelter on the edge of the city, the kind of place where the dogs bark loud, and the silence between barks is heavier than the noise. His past? Largely unknown. What they did know. He had been part of a backyard fighting ring. Rescued when police raided a property and found him chained in the corner, underfed and alone. Most dogs like Bruno never got adopted, especially pit bulls. But one man, a 62-year-old retired firefighter named Thomas, saw something different. He didn't flinch when Bruno didn't wag his tail. He didn't judge the scars, simply sat beside the cage, waited, and said quietly, "You don't have to be afraid anymore." That's how Bruno found his home. Thomas didn't expect much. He lived alone after his wife passed. His children lived out of state, and the house was too quiet. Bruno brought back rhythm, morning walks, afternoon naps, someone to talk to even if words weren't returned. They built a bond on routine. Every day at 6:30 a.m., they walked the same path past the park, the bakery, and the gas station. Neighbors learned to nod, even if some still crossed the street when they saw Bruno. "He's gentle," Thomas would say. "Just tired of being afraid." Bruno never barked without reason. He watched everything, the rustle of trees, the sway of streetlights. He walked like a guardian, which is why on that one morning when Bruno started growling from the porch, before the walk even began, Thomas paid attention. The air smelled strange, faint hiss from somewhere down the road. Then Bruno barked loud and sharp, tugged the leash so hard it nearly slipped from Thomas's hand. And then it happened. 2 houses down, a garage exploded, flames leapt from the roof, smoke poured from windows. The fire swallowed everything. Screams rang out. People ran from their homes, barefoot, confused. One neighbor shouted, "There's a kid in there!" Bruno didn't hesitate. He pulled free from Thomas's grasp and bolted toward the burning house. Thomas shouted his name once, twice, but Bruno was gone. The house belonged to a woman in her 30s and her 6-year-old daughter. The woman had passed. Out near the kitchen, the little girl was in her bedroom upstairs, crying behind a closed door. Bruno burst through the open door, disappearing into thick smoke. Outside, no one could believe it. A pit bull running into danger. Moments later, Bruno emerged, dragging the woman by the sleeve of her jacket. He coughed, his body trembling, but turned right back inside. The fire had grown worse. The roof cracked. Heat shimmered in waves. Then came the scream, not of fear, but joy, as Bruno appeared in the smoke again, nudging the crying girl out of the house with his snout. She held onto his back like a stuffed toy, soot covering her tiny face. Neighbors rushed forward, pulling her into safety. The woman began to stir on the grass, coughing, whispering, "My baby, where's my baby? She's safe. Someone said, 'Thanks to your dog.'" The firefighters arrived just then, sirens howling. But the hero had already done his job. Bruno collapsed beside Thomas, who knelt down and held his head in his hands. "You crazy boy," he whispered. "You brave, crazy boy." Bruno was treated for smoke inhalation. Spent 2 nights at the emergency vet. The town rallied. Donations poured in for his care. Children left drawings of Bruno at the clinic. A local bakery made Bruno biscuits. All proceeds went to animal rescue. The story made the news. Pitbull saves woman and child from fire once abused. Now a hero, but not everyone celebrated. Some still muttered, "He got lucky. Can't trust dogs like that." To them, Thomas said only one thing, that Pitbull ran into a fire. What more does he have to do to earn your trust? Months passed. The house was rebuilt. The mother and daughter returned. They brought Bruno treats every week. Apples, turkey jerky, soft squeaky toys. Neighbors who once feared him now waved. Bruno was given a gold tag that read, "Hero." A mural went up in town, Bruno standing in front of flames, his silhouette bold and calm. He visited local schools. Kids lined up to pet him, even. Older residents, who once flinched at the word Pitbull, learned to smile when they saw him. Bruno didn't understand fame, But he knew he had a job to protect, to love, to watch. Bruno lived for more years. He slowed down. His hips stiffened. His eyes clouded. But every morning at 6:30, he still waited at the door. The routine never broke. And then, one morning, Bruno didn't rise. Thomas found him curled on his favorite rug by the window, the rising sun glowing behind him, peaceful. Still, he buried him beneath the tree near the rebuilt house. A small stone reads, "Bruno, the dog who ran into fire." The girl, now 10, visits sometimes. She brings fresh flowers and tells him about school. "You saved my life," she whispers. "I won't forget." And Thomas still sets 2 mugs of coffee out in the morning, because love doesn't leave, it just waits in the quiet. Like a dog on a porch, listening for something no one else hears.